Greetings. Things and Time still with you. Reflection evening. We are just going to not just remind you, but make it be known that we are paying tribute and remembrance of Robert Dada Mugabe. And we want if we hear some things, because one of the things that we must say is that patience is the key, because when the right time comes, it'll be very beautiful and totally worth the wait. The reason me read that now is because Dada Mugabe was very patient with the colonial bosses and even with the renegade people of Zimbabwe as well. Oh yeah, we have enough renegades. We have people who are very pretensive, make believe, but they are covert operators, Rufuses, roast breadfruit. I always believe that it's better to have white hope than strive and struggle and be determined with perseverance for self and have tolerance with patience, endurance, and of all things, love for the self. And that self-love is not I self, it's the self of a nation, of a country, and in this case, a continent. We in the diaspora must respect and understand the turmoil also that those strong, revolutionary-minded individuals on the continent has persevered with. And it's not just stamina, it's endurance, it's forbearance. It's something that many of us have never experienced, but we can talk like me is speaking now. But you see, persistency is something that when we look at ourselves, we have. Because all human beings must have that. Not we won't survive in this earth. Not we won't survive in this earth. So there's not something superior to one set of people and inferior to another set of people, because this is how the Almighty create us and He give us all of these talents. And it's how we use them. But you see, there's a set of people that when they reach the continent, I keep telling you, the reports that them give their people at home was that we were savages. And that teaching, that instruction, that constant reminder that we were savages, animal-like, is what caused the massive of them to perceive us the way in which many of them do. But if we were educated somewhat by ourselves, and not us in the diaspora, but by ourselves from our brothers and sisters at home, and we had that contact, the situation won't be like it has been and what we've experienced. So we in the diaspora and in the Caribbean particularly, we must recognize the people that we've moved aside and we've helped killed. And reflect and ask ourselves, what were they all about? What was their endurance? What was their persistency? What was it? And you'll find that they found something up, but they wanted to inform us. They wanted to educate us. And they had the tolerance, because education, you have to be tolerant. You have to be persistent. You have to be consistent. You have to be patient. You have to have longevity. You have to. And they wanted to give us that. They were the true revolutionists. And they had a purpose, because it was for us, the next generation, the youth. I put it to everyone, Robert Mugabe was the same. I often ask myself, why is there so long? But you see, when you get to hear and understand some principles, especially within the ANC and through Steve Biko and that fellowship, and now hearing and recognizing what is actually taking place with some of our brothers and sisters, and recognizing now that we're around the same age group, playing on the same fields, and reading many of the same books, but not standing in the same circle and not walking on the same soil. The only soil of commonalities that's on the earth. It's pleasing to the heart, it's pleasing to the soul. But it makes me realize that Steve Biko and many others didn't die in vain. You know, it's just that those people are not here that we can sit down and listen to and move and do things. Because these people were activists. They are people about developing things, not about conversation. So, Mugabe, I'll come back to that.
Deliver me, God, from my enemy. Luton for you alongside Conquering Records. Hear me out. Modern day traitors, all day. Who need enemy with friends like those? Modern day traitors, all day. Nowadays, you know no friend different from foes. Modern day traitors. Some of them so cool, them interest in a vanity. Jealous and bold, them are traitors. Leave me alone, I don't want to smell them cologne. Some so-called friends, them are real born fake. If we bring you down and them never hesitate. Every day them get up, sit down by your name. Once see your fall and go down the drain. Lord, you rise and them all astonished. I trouble them a look, hey, yeah, let them have it. Me hear them a grumble. Them vex and panic, them a spine to the wall and down to the vomit. Modern day traitors, out there. Who need enemies with friends like those? Modern day traitors, out there. Today you can't know a friend different from foes. Modern day traitors. Some of them so cold, them interest in a vanity. Jealous and bold, them are traitors. Leave her alone, I know I smell them color. Good thing comes in my God from my enemy. Lord, 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 Lord. One bring you down so then we go as far. And then we do anything, yeah, then we go as far. Them want to see your fall, then we go as far. Whoa, them a hitch up a hold your money yard. Them want bring you down so then we go as far. And then we do anything, yeah, then we go as far. And if them want to see your fall, them go as far. Them a hitch up a hold your money yard. Cause when me take the things where them a take part in, and then we swing around, we got one night dinner. George was a friend of mine, but all of a sudden things change from me buy a new Beamer. Lord, Lord, lies and deceit and deception, it has spread through the you, then we go as far.
Yes.
Them want to see you fall, then we go as far. Oh, them a hitch up a whole your man yard. Them want bring you down, so then we go as far. And they will do anything, yeah, then we go as far. And if them want to see you fall, them go as far. Them a hitch up a whole your man yard.
Yes, Tuesday, me say I play all right 50 version, tell Junior. You see, that's one. Yeah, we are just warm up the spot. Listen.
Lord, how they increase the trouble me. Many a day that rise up against me. Many a day we save my soul, there's no help for me, Jah. Give a thanks to Jah. Give a thanks. 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 I will make my day, and I will make my path the way. I will never be the foolish one to depart from the money and go astray. Cause right now we're with the ones with the swords in their mouth and the lion teeth. Aware, beware. The fire is burning now. Give a thanks to Jah. Give a thanks. 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 Be my light of life. Protect life for me. Though I walk through the valley of life and I fear no evil.
Fear no one.
Be my way and be my strength, oh Jah. Yes, you guide me along. I pray,
Yes, Tata.
I pray. Give a thanks to Jah. Give a thanks. 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 I pray. I pray. I pray. Lord, how they increase their trouble me. Many a day that rise up against me. Many day be we save my soul, there's no help for him in Jah. I will make my day, and I will make my path the way. I will never be the foolish one to depart from the money and go astray. Cause right now we're with the ones with the swords in their mouth and the lion teeth. Aware, beware. The fire is burning now. Give a thanks to Jah. Give a thanks. Give a thanks to Jah. Give a thanks. Give a thanks to Jah. Give a thanks. Give a thanks to Jah. Give
Chalawa, Palawa. And the kind of name me Yahweh Congo Black Bomba Roots. Brother man, 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 brother man. Born as a black man, me never lost in a Babylon. Here we go. Chalawa, Palawa. And the kind of name me Yahweh Congo Black Bomba Roots. Brother man, 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 brother man. Born as a black man, me never lost in a Babylon. Born as an African, and I know where I belong. Born as a black man, me never lost in a Babylon. Born as an African, and I know where I belong. 50 million black slaves coming out of their graves. 60 million black slaves coming out of their graves. I saw Malcolm X, and he was still vexed. Yes, I saw Rosa Parks, many countless footsteps. She led the multitude from out of the west. Yes, and they say, Brother Bob Marley, tough gun shot the sheriff. Born as a black man, me never lost in a Babylon. Born as an African, and I know where I belong. Born as a black man, me never lost in a Babylon. Born as an African, and I know where I belong. Don't forget your pride. Keep that black smile. Don't forget your aim, nor your mission. Born as a black man, me never lost in a Babylon. Born as an African, and I know where I belong. Born as a black man, me never lost in a Babylon. Born as an African, and I know where I belong. Born as a black man, me never lost in a Babylon. Born as an African, and I know where I belong. Born as a black man, me never lost in a Babylon. Born as an African, and I know where I belong. Brother man, 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 brother man. Brother man, 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 brother man.
I feel we sing it, tell you feel low it.
Here we go! Lord, Lord, whoa, whoa. He cried alone. No one hear his voice. Lord,
Mama want you, Papa want you.
he knew he had probation because it was his first offense. It was done for him, for what he's done makes no sense. Lord, what was he thinking when he squeezed the trigger of that gun? Lord, he never know that the undercover park up in the parking lot. I drink a shot around. No, he was checked on the spot. Gone left the homies sitting by the corner shop. Know him find himself lost in a cell block. Fighting for his life, he was stabbed with a jailhouse knife. Why, he cried aloud. No one heard his voice. Why, the best doctor tried. Yo, forgetting by society, believed to be the monster. Never knew a destiny since he was a youngster. Forgotten by life in a very cruel way. Forgotten and forgotten day by day. And as the years go by, his tears multiply. Figuring the days away. No more birthday gifts, no girlfriend kiss goodnight. You should have paid the time before the crime. No, he was checked on the spot. Gone left the homies sitting by the corner shop. Know him find himself lost in a cell block. Fighting for his life, he was stabbed with a jailhouse knife. Why, he cried aloud. No one heard his voice. Why, the best doctor tried. Why, he cried aloud. No one heard his voice. Why, the best doctor tried. Why, he cried aloud. No one heard his voice. Why, the best doctor tried.
Long time them fight against the Rasta man, you know, and we see them from all angles in the earth. But Haile Selassie is the guide and I shall protect I and I. Everything that them do, them blame it on the Rasta man, Rasta man. And everything that we try, they set up them evil plan, them evil plan. Say everything that we do, the trouble in the Rasta man, Rasta man. And everything that we do, setting up them evil plan, their evil plan. Stop what the problem is, I don't really know. Stop what the vibes is, I don't really know, but is it because our righteous? Or cause we praise the King with excellence? Is it because I see around me His Majesty 360 degrees? Is it because of my locks? Say tell me the truth, I want you give me the facts. Why they messing with that mentality when they know that the Father is there beside me? Cause everything that them do, them fight against the Rasta man, Rasta man. And everywhere that we go, they're setting up them evil plan, evil plan. Said everything that them do, they're fighting against the Rasta man. And everywhere that we go, they're setting up them evil plan, them evil plan. Stop what the problem is, I don't really know. Don't really know.
Let go big chore, big chore, big chore, big chore.
Already.
Let go big chore, big chore, big chore.
most I live it. Govern every woman, every man, the most I live. Whoa, 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 yeah. In every color, every nation, the most I live. Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. The most I always live. Come on, come on. I see church words come to pass. No fight Ethiopians last. Down Charlestown's if your heart's a glass. Not compromise when I shoot your birds across. I tell you some blood. I tell you some wally gas splash. Weeping and mourning, well teeth a goodness. I say judgment. Them wicked deeds of fist up. This a dig up in them skin like courage when it scratch cars. Some say good, some say go. To idol them about. Long time we a walk with church and no. Sheldon, you take the Nazarene focus the most I live. Oh yes. In the hearts of everyone. Well. Govern every woman, every man. The most I live. In every color, every nation. The most I live. The most I always live. Watch out, some a glorify money where it not wallet, but me still a praise me God all when me no have it. A camel before a rich man enter the palace. Remember the rule that Jah just said. So children of God, come on in barrage. Come praise the kings of kings and the lords of lords. Every warriors we stand guard. Serve the most I collect on the reward. Me tell you, Jah live it in every mankind. Fast and pray daily, no fi bless him sometime. The most I teachings no fi left in on time. Just like all the verse that left the punch like as the most I live. In the hearts of everyone. Oh yes, the most I live. Whoa. Govern every woman, every man, the most I live. Most I live. In every color, every nation, yes, the most I live. Yes. The most I always live. Yes, Church, I love the gate of Zion more than the dwellings of Jacob. So all who are asleep better wake up. From the devil you better break up. Because Jah is Zion and Zion in a way. And him alone just make him a set me free. You never witness money, you grew up on church, but yet still it come from the tree. Better pray him live. Hearts of every man, the most I live. Oh yes. Now every woman, every man. Yes. Selassie, Melchizedek.
Jah. Ask yourself where you know about God. Can't lead the people if you don't know Jah. Can't lead the people if you don't know God. Ask yourself where you know about the kingdom. Conquer lion, the rule of everything. You tell me none if you don't know Jah. You tell me none if you don't know. Mr. Daniel not the lion send a prayer to Jehovah. Corner them corner other gal soldier. Gone on the knees now. Quiet the beast now. No understand because them no really know Jah. But when the wicked them go open the door them. See my prayer say invest the little more. When God bless you, you can rest assured the lions couldn't even roar. Oh yeah. When God bless you, you can rest assured. as good as TV roar. Oh, yeah, yeah. You miss a big man. Ask yourself where you know about Georgia. Ask yourself where you know about God. Tell the people if you don't know Jah. Tell the people if you don't know God. Ask yourself where you know about the kingdom. Conquer lion, the rule of everything, yeah. Can't tell me nothing if you don't know Jah. Can't tell me nothing if you don't know. With a stick and with a prayer, man, I walk through. We face a mighty king and tell him say him gone low. So me tell him what the man the science can wear. Israelites are that send me if we call you. Want see me ya? Lead the people with the other correction. Jalo me need no other connection. Yeah. Me take the Red Sea and open a section and walk. Jah will be my protection. Whoa, ask yourself where you know about Jah. Ask yourself where you know about God. Can't lead the people if you don't know Jah. Can't lead the people if you don't know Jah. Ask yourself what you know about the king. Conquer lion, the rule of everything, yeah. Can't tell me nothing if you don't know Jah. Can't tell me nothing if you don't know Jah. Ask yourself what you know about Jah. Ask yourself what you know about God. Can't lead the people if you don't know Jah. Can't lead the people if you don't know Jah. Ask yourself what you know about God. If you really know the Savior. Oh yeah, hey, ask yourself. Oh yeah, give thanks to everything. Yeah. Give thanks to everything. Ain't not misery. Oh, yeah. Them only God find Jah love when they see. Only when them are face it. Only when them are fire and the boss of style when they
Never big joy.
Hear me no chat. The youths them a go and bad. But me love them same way. Just like God. I'm not really see the world the way they're supposed to. Because the things that they really just to be close to. But remember, everybody have them purpose too. Because all the clown have them circles too. I'm not really see the world the way they're supposed to. Because the things that they really just to be close to. But remember, everybody have them purpose too. Because all the clown have them circles too. I will accept you for who you are, whether or not you could be fake or you're genuine like leather or not. You could be poor and paparazzi got the cheddar or not. Whether you're heavy like a lead, you light or feather or not. You could be calm like distilled water, stupid or you're smarter. Bad like Starkey, them and feather map. Whether you're strange like Jack Wall, you want my brother or not. You could be firm like the lion or you weak like the rat. If you choose to be a soldier or you rather be cop. If you choose to bleach your skin out or you rather be black. Would be the best at what you doing or you really just whack. I know they are suffer judges, so make judge do that. Not really see the world the way they're supposed to. Because the things that they really chose to be close to. But remember, everybody have them purpose too. Because all the clown have them circles too. Not really see the world the way they're supposed to. Because the things that they really chose to be close to. But remember, everybody have them purpose too. Because all the clown have them circles too. Force the cow to the water, but you can't make him drink it. Man, now have to please you just because you think it. Enough now why your boat a float, them well want sink it. But someone have to be negative, so let him be it. The sun don't have to shine on a rain there. So everyone don't have to be the same way. That song you bad, but it no must get no airplay. We might do the same work, but we don't get the same pay. Yeah. I know every microphone cardless. Tell them we will rise regardless. Whether you love me or hate me, no acknowledge me or you appreciate me. Yeah. I've no really see the world the way they're supposed to. Because the things that they really chose to be close to. But remember, everybody have them purpose too. Because all the clown have them circles too. I've no really see the world the way they're supposed to. Because the things that they really chose to be close to. But remember, everybody have them purpose too. Because all the clown have them circles too. Man, you will it's a Friday night, so we say Ata Sabbath. Rastafari say that Baba Shanti, love you all. Janu say love you all. Selassie I know say love you all. Rastafari Satama Sagana Anokama Stana wana drama with the yana Eman with the honor. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Satama Sagana
Yes. So we are geared that now to just get the scene, set the stage, and use them as some commemoration in terms of the lyrical content. So we are going Mugabe now and Patience. I respect this, total respect. Things and times, reflection, in memory, respect, African respect.
Karuna Matla Karuna Matimba Aina Maibuye Africa Maibuye Africa. Thank you very much. Sizobiza umama asivulele ngomthandazo. Our second prayer. Sicela umama umfundisi ukuthi azosivulela ngomthandazo. Mandla.
In our language, we say tinotenda. I am proud to be a Zimbabwean, and I am here representing my father. I decided to be a pastor because I was grounded on the roots of knowing God as a young woman, as a teenager, as a young old child. But I want to thank God today that I have come here to say a prayer for my father, just to say that he must rest in peace. And I want to thank you for what you have done for our country. We will pray nothing but what is written in the Word of God. The Lord taught us that we shall not pray anything else, but we will pray according to the book of Matthew, chapter 6, verse 33. It says that when you pray, you shall pray, Our Father who art in heaven. For the Lord knows what you want to ask for. Whatever you are thinking, he says he knows. So therefore, close your door, your own closet, and pray this prayer. So that's the prayer that I'm going to make today. Shall we pray? Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, and teach us to forgive and forget all those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from all evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power and the glory, forever and ever. Amen.
Mandla. Away, two. Mandla. Away, two. Thank you very much. Thank you very much to Pastor Gracious Mbewe. We will now move on to have a formal welcome from our chairperson of Gauteng, Commissar Mandisa Mashego. Long live chairperson, long live.
Pambirine Hondo, Pambirine Chimurenga. Amandla. Long live the EFF, long live. Long live the EFF in Africa, long live. Long live the Commander-in-Chief, Julius Silo Malema, long live. Long live the Deputy President, Commissar Floyd Chivambu, long live. Long live the National Chairperson, People's Advocate, Commissar Dalimpofu, long live. Long live the Secretary General, Commissar Gotish Gardi, long live. Long live the Deputy Secretary General, Commissar Hlengiwe Mkalipi, long live. Long live the Treasurer General, Commissar Leanne Mateis, long live. Amandla. Thank you very much, National Chairperson. It's going to be a very brief one. As usual, my job is to welcome everyone here present. I'd like to specifically welcome the entire forces of Soweto, ground forces, and the community of Soweto. Thank you very much for your presence. I'd like to welcome the entire provincial command team members who are present here, specifically our 5 commissars who are our deployees from the central command team to Gauteng. We say thank you for your presence. I'd like to welcome the provincial secretary, the officials of the provincial command team of Gauteng, and all provincial command team members. Welcome all regional leadership, the regional chairpersons and secretaries of the 5 regions of Gauteng. You are all welcome, and welcome all other branches that may be here joining us in Soweto today. And particularly, I'd like to welcome all stakeholders that may be visiting us from other organizations within Zimbabwe, as well as here in South Africa. And if there are any representatives from the ZANU-PF, you are all warmly welcome to our esteemed memorial service of the EFF led by the Commander-in-Chief, and also welcome members of the media and welcome any other members and any other stakeholders that I may not have specifically individually recognized. You are all welcome. Thank you very much. Thanks, National Chair. Amandla.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Watinta bafazi. Watinti mbogoto. Watinta bafazi. Watinti mbogoto. Thank you very much. Now we are going to call on some of our esteemed visitors who came to grace this occasion. All the way from Zimbabwe. The first person that I'm going to call is a person who will be representing the family. His name is Patrick Zhuwao, and he's a former Minister of Indigenization in Zimbabwe. He has been persecuted, and he will explain his relationship, but he is the nephew of our late hero, Comrade R.G. Mugabe. Comrade Patrick.
Amandla! Amandla! Maita yenyu. Pamsoroi. Pamsoroi, Commander-in-Chief, Comrade Malema. Pamsoroi, Command Structure of the Economic Freedom Fighters. My name is Patrick Zhuwao. I was a member of the Politburo of ZANU-PF. I was expelled from ZANU-PF when the army took up arms against our liberator and icon, President Mugabe. Together with some of the comrades that are here, we chose to stand with President Mugabe. And I would like to share with you why we chose to stand with President Mugabe. Yes, I am his nephew. Yes, my mother was his sister. But what is important is what we have learned from comrades here, from Comrade Kasukuwere, Comrade Mashaya Mombe, Comrade Mashange, and all the other comrades that are here. Comrades here present, I recall when Comrade Malema and his executive of the ANC Youth League visited us in Harare. We were given specific instructions by President Mugabe that despite protocol, we must make sure that we receive them in the same way that heads of state are received in Zimbabwe. We broke protocol and made sure that the ANC Youth League had a police escort. When President Mugabe realized that Comrade Malema and his team would leave Zimbabwe before he came back from the OAU, he cut short his visit because he needed to be able to speak with the delegation. We were at State House with President Malema, with President Mugabe and Commander-in-Chief Malema and his team. They were supposed to go to the airport. President Mugabe said, no, they cannot catch that flight. Organize another flight for them later on. When Comrade Malema and his delegation came back to South Africa, they were hounded and chased out of the ANC because they came to see President Mugabe. And they resonated with what President Mugabe talked about when President Mugabe said that the next struggle will be the economic liberation of Africa in our lifetime. So, as a nephew of President Mugabe, I will accept President Mugabe's membership of the EFF. When President Mugabe decided that he was going to retire, he spoke with Comrade Kasukuwere, and he tasked Comrade Kasukuwere and some of us to start organizing presidential youth interfaces, during which President Mugabe would explain to the people of Zimbabwe that him and his generation were in the sunset of their lives, and that the next liberation would be waged by young people. And because President Mugabe stood for young people, some of his colleagues who he fought with, would not be able to recognize that young people are the future of Africa, that young people will liberate Africa economically. They chose to take arms against President Mugabe because President Mugabe was committed to pass the torch on to young people so that young people can liberate Africa economically. When President Mugabe was deposed, some of the comrades that are now wanting to stand and pontificate over his funeral refused to acknowledge him. They tormented him. They made him suffer. And the family decided that we could not continue to allow him to watch the news every day in Harare. It's the likes of Opamuchinguri, Mabel Chinomona, Matema Danda called President Mugabe a traitor. Why do they want to pontificate over him? You did not want him in ZANU-PF. He is wanted here in the EFF. President Mugabe went to Singapore and he was staying in a rented house in Singapore. He was not in hospital. However, 5 days before he passed on Sunday, his condition deteriorated. When his condition deteriorated, he was taken to hospital. President Mugabe was in hospital for 5 days before he passed on. President Mugabe effectively was tormented by ZANU-PF. He was tormented by the regime of Emmerson Mnangagwa. President Mugabe said, and I quote, "Zimbabwe is where I was born. Zimbabwe is where I will die. And Zimbabwe is where he will be buried." That's what he said. But President Mugabe did not die in Zimbabwe because of Emmerson Mnangagwa. When President Mugabe spoke with members of the family, members of his immediate family, his wife, his children, he gave them specific instructions on what must happen at his funeral and at his burial. I spoke this morning with Amai Mugabe. She instructed me to issue a statement, to disseminate a statement that she and the immediate family had put together. The statement is that they are being coerced by Emmerson Mnangagwa to ignore President Mugabe's wishes on where his mortal remains should be interred. I call upon you, Commander-in-Chief. I call upon you to help the family recognize, have the wishes of President Mugabe be recognized. President Mugabe, it demands of us that we make sure that President Mugabe is able to rest in peace. President Mugabe is able to rest in power. It is not possible that Emmerson Mnangagwa and his henchmen can pontificate over President Mugabe. I thank you.
Karuna. Thank you very much, Comrade Patrick. Before I call on our next speaker from Zimbabwe, I also want to emphasize what the comrade was saying. Those of us who were involved in the struggle in the 80s were inspired by Comrade Mugabe. You know, when people struggled here in the 60s and 70s, it was one day there'll be freedom, but we had never seen this freedom. But in 1980, when we saw Robert Mugabe taking over power and defeating Ian Smith, we knew that it was possible. That is why the decade of the 80s was the decade that finally crushed the apartheid racist regime, because we could see that it could be done. So we want to thank you, comrades of ZANU-PF, and comrades like Robert Mugabe and Joshua Nkomo are what inspired the struggle in this country. Amandla. My next speaker is going to be another former commissar in the ZANU-PF Central Committee, and another former minister, our comrade Xavier Kasukuwere, that was mentioned here earlier. Comrade Xavier.
Amandla. Amandla. Ilizwe. Ilizwe. Viva African, viva EFF, viva! Forward with Comrade Julius Malema, forward! Forward with the leadership of the EFF, forward! Abasha imperialism. Thank you very much, comrades. The CIC and the President of the EFF, Comrade Julius Malema, Comrade Floyd Shivambu, the Vice President, our National Chairman, Advocate Dalim Pofu, the leadership of the EFF here present. My dear brother has just spoken to us, Honorable Patrick Joao. I'm also accompanied, in fact our team, there's Comrade Shadrach Mashaya Mombe, who was a Member of Parliament. We have with us Comrade Mashange, Honorable Mashange, who was a Member of Parliament. And indeed, we have our sister who blessed this occasion. Thank you very much, my dear sister, the pastor. Indeed, today is not an easy day for many of us. But let me take this opportunity to thank, first and foremostly, Comrade Julius Malema and this important family of the EFF. When I had a chat a few days ago with Comrade Malema, he said to me, Comrade Tyson, we are having the memorial service of the late President Araji Mugabe. I was in Singapore, and he said, you must be here. We are here where it matters most. This kind of gathering is happening in Soweto, where the people genuinely loved President Araji Mugabe. There is no such gathering in Sandton. There is no such gathering in the affluent suburbs in South Africa and anywhere else in Africa. Because what he stood for resonates with us who are here today, resonates with the EFF, resonates with the revolutionaries who want a different Africa, the young men and women in our country, in our region in Africa, who want a new future for themselves. They want to be part and parcel of the economy. The challenge we have, Comrade Malema, is what I call political assimilation. When political leaders are chosen from amongst us, the moment they come into contact with the WMCs, they forget about the poor people. They have a different story. It's all about what kind of projection, how am I viewed by Western imperial capital? If you talk to anybody who gets into power, the moment they start buying cufflinks, nice bow ties, nice suits, Gucci perfumes, they forget about the people of the EFF who are here in Soweto. You ask yourselves, when you are chosen to be president, President Mugabe, was chosen by the poor people in our country to be president. Hence, what he stood for made those with the riches angry with him. The moment you see yourself becoming acceptable to Western capital, just stand back and say, hey, comrades, where am I selling out now? What is the problem? What have I done? We choose leaders, African leaders, to lead us. The moment he gets into the office, he starts thinking about, how will I be viewed in London? What is the capitals of cash in New York saying? Washington. But the people who chose you are in Soweto, they are not in Washington. Let's first of all answer to the aspirations of the people in Soweto, not in Washington. I hope, Comrade Malema, the lessons that we've gone through in our country, and I thank you for remembering this gallant son of Africa. He belonged. He was the son of the soil. He was not scared. When it came to taking our land, this Madala was not scared. Bob was not scared. Bob was not scared. Bob was not scared. He said the principal grievance why we went to war was the land. And he simply said, take the land. And he was a very stubborn old man. He would be moving around He said, hey, Matala, are you not scared? The whites are angry. He says, angry about what? Here I was born, here I shall die, and here I'll be buried. Let the land come back to the masters, those who own their land. If President Mugabe was a coward, would still be negotiating about how the terms to which we'll get the land, we'll be having discussions and meetings about when and this. Not this man. Yes, it has brought tremendous suffering to our country. But comrades, never you sacrifice the principle on the altar of expediency. It is the foundation that he has laid for us, he has laid for Africa, where we call upon leadership like Comrade Malema. Let's build the economic independence of our people from what these old men have done. Those old men who were not scared to go in prison for 11 years, he was there. He lost his child whilst in prison. He never gave up. He was harassed. He left the country, went to live in Mozambique. He never gave up. He led Zanla forces from Mozambique. He never gave up. He was insulted. He had degrees taken away from him, which had been given by the British. He said, for as long as I'm doing the right thing for my people, I will not turn back. I'll give my people land, doesn't matter. Today, the EFF is saying, well done. Comrade Malema, leadership does not require cowards. If you are a coward, get out of the kitchen. If you are a coward, get out of the kitchen. You spoil our food in the kitchen. Amadoda Civili is what we require in the kitchen. Men of steel, women of steel, who will say, this is where we want to go. Africa, if we are going to have our economy and control it, we don't want people who are scared. We have in our country now, they are busy reversing empowerment laws to make who happy. I know we want all foreigners to come and invest in our country. Did we ever ask for a foreign leader to come back and take over from Mnangagwa? If you want us also to look, no, we need somebody who can do better. Let's hire George Bush or let's hire Trump to run Zimbabwe. No, we believe in you as a black man. Believe in me as an economic fighter. If we have a leadership that does not believe in black people, hey, comrades, they must just go, man. We are sick and tired. My wife is black. My doctor is black. I am black. My farmer is black. Why should I compromise? Why do you need me to waste my time? When I die, I get buried by the people who are also black. It's the time, Comrade Malema, we turn around and say, they own the country, let's empower them. The minerals of South Africa, we can't continue talking about, our quotas, we need to arrange quotas. No, men, comrades, these are ours. God brought me as a black man to Africa. That's why I'm black. You have your own territory. I have not come to yours to eat from you. You want to come and eat from me and say, no, man, just relax. Don't destabilize him. He's a very nice man. I also want to eat. Don't disturb me when I want to eat. So young people here, members of the EFF, the job to liberate Africa begins now. We do it because it is right for us to do it. I'm saying this, I know I'll be in big trouble. But trouble is now what I'm looking for. I'm actually now going around looking for trouble. Because if you become too nice, you have a problem. I'm looking for trouble. My brother will tell you when I was a youngster, I did some of the things that nobody can ever do. I took a little stick. There was a mango tree in our homestead. And there were these bees, a huge beehive. I said, hey, this thing is stopping us from eating these mangoes. I attacked that beehive. Next thing, I was in hospital. But I survived. If I could survive those bees, let's fight again. We will survive another fight. So, Comrade Julius, I want to thank you very much, my dear brother. If you ask me about the story of the EFF and this formation, I know it from A to Z. I was there with this young comrade. This man is a strong man. I know what he went through. I know the pain he went through. If he was a man who was scared, by now the name Julius Malema will be finished completely. Comrade Julius Malema, for what you have done for Comrade Mugabe, you know he said to you, Kasukwere, you must take Comrade Julius and the leadership to the Victoria Falls. One day we shall go and enjoy in Victoria Falls. We owe you to you guys. What this old man stood for. And I heard our national chairman sing to us the national anthem. I think it was sung by Ntsonga from the Methodist preacher who came up with it. Santanga. Ishe Komborera Africa. The EFF, don't give up. The EFF, don't give up. The EFF, don't give up. We are waiting for a signal, Comrade Malema. We now don't know how to treat them. That is gone. He should just have told us how we're going to handle some of these sellouts. Those who are now trying to turn back against him. Those who are now trying to bury him when they never wanted him. How do you remove somebody using your army and say he's our hero tomorrow? Come on, go to hell. You are lying to us. You never wanted him. They said, I wanted to remove President Mugabe. They said I must be removed from the party's national commissar. I said never. Within 4 weeks, we saw exactly who wanted to remove President Mugabe. They have no principles. Mugabe, the Western world failed. Everybody else wanted to bring him down, failed. Who brought him down? It is those disciples. The 12 disciples Jesus had, one of them had to plan against him. Amandla. Viva EFF, viva. Ilizwe. Umhlaba. Thank you very much, comrades.
Tata Juju Tata. Tata Juju Tata.
Tata.
Mandla.
Tata.
Umhlaba.
Tata.
Umhlaba. 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 Phansi abathengisayo phansi. Phansi Ramaphosa phansi. Phansi Magashule phansi. Away ANC, away. Thank you very much. At this stage, I think we need to sing our new favorite song. Sizonifundisa abangayazi. Yini socialism umhlaba wonke sandleni saba akunamuntu yini socialism umhlaba wonke akunamuntu ayesaba man ayesaba mabhujwa ngoba efuna ayesaba man Mobefuna in socialism mlungu. In socialism. Hakuna muntu. Oh, wayesabama. Oh, babefuna. Wayesabama. Forward to socialism, forward. Forward to socialism, forward. Down with capitalism, down. Phansi Ramaphosa nabaphathi bakhe phansi. Phansi Rupert Ramaphosa Alliance phansi. Keruna. Matla. Thank you very much. Now we're getting close to the main event. I'm going to call our Deputy President, Floyd Nyiko Shibambu, to introduce our CIC. Long live the Deputy President, long live. Long live the Deputy President, long live. Amandla.
Amandla. Viva the EFF, viva! Long live the fighting spirit of Comrade Robert Mugabe, long live! Long live the fighting spirit of Gushungo, long live! Amandla! Pamberi Nehondo, Pambere! Pambere Chimurenga, Pambere! Phansi imperialism, Phansi! Amandla! Away, two! A chairperson in Shona, they say, Ndotendas Vikuru chairperson. So we want to say thank you very much to the chairperson for the program thus far. We had thought that before we introduce the Commander-in-Chief, we should speak about the two commissars that spoke here. These are the pioneers of the struggles to really emancipate economically the people of Zimbabwe. So Comrade Patrick Zwawo and Xavier Kasukwere, his name is Tyson. They are the ones who pioneered the Indigenization and Economic Empowerment Act in Zimbabwe, which said that now that we have got the land, we must take charge of the economy of Zimbabwe. The Indigenization Act of Zimbabwe was to say that in all other businesses, whether it be banks, whether it be mines, whether it be retail stores and the factories, if you want to do business in Zimbabwe, at least a minimum of 51% must belong to the people of Zimbabwe. So these two commissars, they rose in the ranks of ZANU-PF up until the Politburo of ZANU-PF and were leading that struggle. So at the time when Xavier Kasukwere was the Minister of Youth and Indigenization and Economic Empowerment, Patrick Zwawo was his Deputy Minister. But throughout that period, they've played different responsibilities. Zwawo was the Deputy Minister of Science and Technology. He was a Minister of Public Service, Labor and Social Welfare. And he had a thorough understanding of the tasks that Zimbabwe had to confront at that time. But also he has acquired degrees. He has got 2 degrees from the university, the bachelor's degrees from the University of Zimbabwe, and 4 master's degrees, because they appreciated that they must take their struggles forward. Outside of being a minister of indigenization and economic empowerment, Xavier Kasukwere was also the Minister of Environment, Water, and the Climate. When the coup d'etat happened in 2017, Xavier Kasukwere was the Minister of Local Government, Rural Development, and National Housing. And he was the political commissar in the Politburo of ZANU-PF. So the old guard had wanted to push him out of ZANU-PF because they were creating a conspiracy that he wants to succeed President Mugabe. It could have been a correct succession if it had happened in that way. So these are the correct pioneers of the struggle who understood what had to happen in Zimbabwe. We also have got Tongai Kasukwere, who was the leader of ZANU-PF Youth here with us, and the leadership that has already been acknowledged when we announced everyone, including the political commissar from Harare, Shadrach Mashaya Mombe. So he is part of the delegation that is here today to commemorate and celebrate the life of Gushungo. So my task, fighters, is very simple. I'm here to introduce the Commander-in-Chief. I'm here to introduce a revolutionary whom can count in the same lines as Ben Bella, as Patrick Lumumba, as Julius Nyerere, Kwame Nkrumah, as Thomas Sankara, whom we can count a great Pan-Africanist in the same line as President Robert Mugabe. Comrades, fighters, ladies and gentlemen, we introduce to you the Commander-in-Chief of the Economic Freedom Fighters, Comrade President.
Amandla. Viva EFF, viva. Long live the undying spirit of Robert Mugabe, long live. Long live the undying spirit of Robert Mugabe, long live. Thank you very much, leaders of the revolution, our comrades from Zimbabwe, led by Comrade Tyson and Patrick, our leaders in the country, leaders of the Central Command Team, DP, SG, National Chair, Chairperson and Secretary of the Province, Chairperson and Secretary of Regions, and your RCTs and the PCT, the community of Soweto, the people of Africa, all Zimbabweans who are here today and those who are not here. I greet you, sons and daughters of the African Revolution. Comrades, we gathered here today to salute one of our own. We gathered here today in Soweto as a generation of African revolutionaries in pursuit of a generational mission of realizing economic freedom in our lifetime. This mission is our response to the burning historic fires in our bellies, the distant cries over centuries that are resounding in our hearts about a terrible crime against humanity of the African child. We are those who have dismally failed to ignore this fire, who have refused to shut our ears against those distant cries. We are unable to live as if African dehumanization will resolve itself. Ours is a mission that directly, without apology, continues the liberation of the African people from colonial domination and conquest as launched by European white over 4 centuries ago. This is the well-defined mission by the founding African ancestors that Africa must unite, be self-sufficient, and that all its people must be in charge of their elective destiny without supervision of Europe and its white supremacists. It is our mission about the African people wherever they are in the world, resisting any usage of the color of their skin as a means of their oppression, as a means of zombifying them. It is essentially an anti-imperialist, anti-capitalist mission, anti-racist, anti-sexist mission which must be executed by any revolutionary means possible. We are here today to remember against forgetting, to pay tribute to the life and times of a man who was defiant when it was not fashionable to do so. Fellow compatriots, a towering figure of this revolution, our revolution, President Robert Gabriel Mugabe, the father of Zimbabwe, service also coincided with the anniversary of Steve Biko, who today was brutally murdered by apartheid police whilst in custody in 1977. We must salute and never stop to say the name and the ideas of Steve Biko, key amongst which is the fight to free our minds from the chains of colonial and white domination. It is Biko who teaches us that the most potent weapon of the oppressor is the mind of the oppressed. There is no other time when this statement has been so important than in this very occasion of the memorial service of Robert Mugabe. In remembering Mugabe, we have this important task to perform, to free our thoughts about Mugabe that have been sponsored by the enemies of our revolution. In remembering Mugabe, we must free the mind of an African child from the narrative created by the Western archives of history that will make us to hate Mugabe, because to hate him is to hate ourselves. So in the name of Steve Biko, in the name of black consciousness, we call up the black child to free your mind from the hands of ENCA, BBC, CNN, Fox News, white monopoly owned publications who are trying to make you hate your own liberators and worship your oppressors.
So right there, we will hold it, and I shall return to it definitely on Tuesday. This is just to say that we have to remember and pay homage to ourselves. We should be doing that in the life of those of us. But we should also teach our children that they're supposed to know what to be doing and how to do what to do, and not to allow anyone that don't part of we as African people, black people on this planet Earth, to out the flame of our fathers and mothers, and should be our mothers and fathers. You understand? No one but us should be able to extinguish that flame from our being. Robert Mugabe, as in many other African leaders, but him particularly in my lifetime, was totally defiant of the colonial boss, based on education and based on symbolic gestures and based on literature that was structuralized right here in England, in Lancaster House, orchestrated by some of the great minds of this country, representing them against us. And that problem still exists across Africa today. So that's why some people have to look, but listen, learn, and make investigation of the African itself, and not someone else depicting and telling you what the African has been through. And even the African them that run across here and Canada and America and lie and just tell so much lie for asylum seekers. If me go home, I could be killed, and this and that and that and that. Eh? What for? You see? And the youth. Now, take into account those of you who are not in the knowing. But now, look at it for yourself. Lie down and look up to your roof. Lie down and be still and think youth and transition. Think of generation and think and see what has happened in America in the 80s, particularly the 80s, or you can go right back to the Black Panther and youth. And youth, a generation. And then look at England now. What is happening with youth? Another generation, and at this time, and we have fell. We who live here and who knows better and who have not degrees but have experience of welfare, social services. We have experience. We have people in all the departments. But some have lacking courage. Some don't even see themselves as African. And some want to tell others, I'm not black. I'm British. Jackass. Now look at what is happening. America, it was drugs that was infiltrated in, that was pushed into and weapons. So a lot of people are still in prison. And some of the great minds that many of you have never heard or seen, even read, are in prison, but the title is called political prisoners. Yes, in Louisiana, thousands. They raped us. And yet still, we're playing games. And we have a problem here that everyone can see and feel and have experienced. And if you have forgotten or you haven't, just have a look at knife crime and Google. That's all you have to do. You have to do nothing spectacular. That's spectacular enough. And see what 8 years we have gone through and still are going through on a day-by-day basis. You got to remember something, you know. Some of those deaths is not what we have committed. I tell you, there's harvesting also taking place. But you know what? We don't have no investigators. We don't even have our ambassadors. We only have the talk of the news. And some stupid ass people who decide that the best place for them to do is to run down to City Hall and have conversation with the mayor instead of calling summit across England, start with London, and demand all the services to be under one roof. And let's discuss, think, and find some solution. Look at this thing properly. It's us. It's not them. It's us. But unless the boss tell you to do that, you're not going to do that. And the boss experimented with you at the carnival, as they do every year. The boss was privileged to tell you that 93 million was made. And XRS, and it could increase because by the time we do some more investigation. You know what the investigation is? It's all the technology and the screening that they were able to do. And by the time them go through everything and them see me who them feel say should not have been there even though they didn't curfew me, then they will come and arrest me because them have the power to do it. But guess what? You went and had a jolly good time, didn't you, mate? You know what I mean? The simulation, mate. You damn jackass. You sell out the people and you don't understand what is happening. And it's our children that we're burying. And it's your neighbor, it's your friend. It's just ain't land on your doorstep yet, but you just don't want to. So why we like that? You see, him daughter, she come and read the Lord's Praise. I try to tell you that this theological education, we can't get rid of, we could, but that's what we've all received from our colonial teachers, our colonial government, our colonial institution in our lands and in the Caribbean, everywhere we've been, so including me. So when you can't divorce yourself from that brainwashing, it's not even brain, it's the system. It's gone into our soul. When we can't divorce that, you can't find the entrapment. We can't divorce it. It did there. And we have not put nothing in place. So reparation and running back home, that's why some jackass them want to go back home and they want to have safari, wetty, and all kind of thing. You see? Because the mind is messed up. Them can talk a good talk about, yeah, I want to go to Uganda, I want to go to Gambia, I want to go to Ghana, rare. But them there upon a sexual earth, them there upon a plain amusement earth, them not there upon construction. Them not there upon that. See? So we need some medical support also. A whole heap of us, all of us. And the length of time that we take not to have our own institution, you know. No infrastructure, we're not doing nothing. I tell you, examine Siaga. Social science, you're having a laugh, mate. Examine him. But then I want to examine him and say I'm gone. I saw things run. And we move on to the next chapter. Well, the next chapter is Icamos. Listen. Big tune. Big tune. Think say we are asleep.
Where is the love that my people should have in Rhodesia? One more germ that they should really be spread in Rhodesia. The germ of love is what they need to spread into everyone's heart. Make man sing that it's there from the very start. Make love shine bright in everyone's heart in Rhodesia. Yeah, tell it in Rhodesia. Justice or rights in Rhodesia. Here is the love of the people that fights in Rhodesia. One germ they must spread in this term of love. It leads mankind to understand themselves. Makes it one understanding.
Yeah, you see that, Chona? Rhodesia is what it was called before Mugabe, and it's called Zimbabwe. I can guarantee you, and you know say for yourself, that there are thousands of us right here in England, excluding many Rasta that is a 70s Rasta, that don't know the word Rhodesia or Zimbabwe. You see? And that's Alton Ellis. I sing that. That's why I have some problem with some African brothers, from the continent. You understand? Because I hear them begging for we to come home. But nevertheless, a different topic, different time. You see? So that's Alton Ellis. Because we do enough tune for South Africa. We do enough tune for Africa as a whole, but we do enough tune for South Africa and apartheid. You see? And then we just get let down with really me believe say we get let down with Mandela and his wife. And enough millions of people who understand. And that Bishop Tutu, Truth and Reconciliation. Bullshit. Man, them kill it, man, them supposed to get charged. Man, them supposed to go to the Hague. Man, them get medals. Man, them get, what do you call that Ross thing? Them give people some big honor. Huh? If the man is supposed to be on trial, whole heap of them. The whole government of the apartheid government and police and soldier. It never happened. Never happened. You see? It never happened. The people them that murder Steve Biko and many others, but especially Steve Biko. Because you see, that's my generation. Him never get a chance for call we. Then let's take him out. So my journey could have been by his side in a South Africa, in Africa. So all the youth them, the young people them, that have learnt and wanted to strengthen themselves at home and help develop. Not go around and having plays and amusement, but help the place to develop and empower our children, which now will be our grandchildren that look upon way. You see that transition there? We miss it. And if we keep moving like this, we're going to lose. And before, when we down the other station, may I say that middle class African Caribbean and Britain, if not for this Brexit thing, they would have raised it already. They would have put it in with face. It's not about the knife crime they're going to do that, because that helps the division. See? But they have cloned and isolate a number of people in prominent positions and prominent areas that will be seen as the black middle class. And they would oppose us because they can and because they're told to. I tell you, you think I joke? One day I'm going to go more into that, you're going to see the reality. Chronics.
Nice to dread and terror upon them. Hey. Good God of grace, will I have.
Hey, we're not stupid about here now. You understand? And anything I want, I have selected that just fast. You see them me by myself, and I'm telling you, we're not stupid about here.
Nice to dread and terror upon them. Hey. Good God of grace, will I have his mercy. Hey. I miss an old slave driver. Time is catching up on you. Old slave driver. I know your sins them are on. So carry we go home. I bring the brown east. Well, come on a Rasta man. A Rasta no live on no Catalan. Oh you mean? Carry we go home. Oh you mean? As if we settle and cease. Well, come on a Rasta man. A Rasta no live on no Catalan. Well, Lord America a capital and the whole of Jamaica a capital and a long time them want trick the Rasta man. Like them no know say that man a real African. You think me no member King Ferdinand and thief in Columbus have a golden plan. They make a brown turn and end up in Caribbean. One Ras then a side kill enough Indian.
See, and this is one youth, you know. Him all ban is young people. You see? No, the distraction, not destruction, the distraction that is being put out there with all that nastiness and all them filthy videos and everything is to suppress young people like this and all the other ones me just play. See? Because it means that the other one, them platform is bigger. And there's more attention given to them and all these things. You see? For some dirty ass people, black and white. And then they've been seduced to a movie as in camera and money. And no real things. Because it's artificial. And now you have the girls then become so worthless that them feel say is good to show themselves on camera doing all kind of provocative nonsense, nastiness. Them same young women, them are parents. Hey, them go on like say them are mechanical, you know. Like that some machine gave birth to them. They don't speak like them recognize their mother. And them have some respect for their mother. And them have some shame and pride in them. Nah, them behave like a rash machine. Me don't know if I say. So me have to say machine, because machine don't have no soul, it don't have nothing. You have to control machine, you have to switch it on and do the thing IFS, this 100% manually. You have to do what you have to do with it to get something from it. That is sad. Don't hear the president or prime minister Ratty decide for clamp down on this and clamp down on that. No. He might get his orgasm and make joke. That's what is happening. And the pastor them instead of them say something, them might get them orgasm too and make joke with one another. And not the prime minister have some secret knowing about the pastors, and the pastor have some secret knowing about him. So they're all in the same ratty club. To hell with pastor and prime minister. They all let the people them down. Self-glorification. And the Governor General represent Her Majesty here. And nobody not turn around and say, watch it, we want full sovereignty. We don't need you to tell we when not to fart or how stink to... Hey, listen here. These are the problems, you know. Serious thing. And you're not change that anytime soon. Chronics.
And I say dread and terror upon them. Hey. Good God of grace, Lord will. I have his mercy. Hey. I miss an old slave driver. Time is catching up on you. Old slave driver. I know your sins them are on. So carry we go home. I bring the brown east. Well, come on a Rasta man. A Rasta no live on no Catalan. Oh you mean? Carry we go home. Oh yeah, as if we settle and cease. Well, come on a Rasta man. A Rasta no live on no capital land. Well, Lord America a capital and the whole of Jamaica a capital and a long time them want trick the Rasta man. Like them no know say that man a real African. You think me no member King Ferdinand and thief in Columbus have a golden plan. They make a wrong turn and end up in Caribbean. One Ras, then a side kill, enough Indian. And turn paradise in a plantation. And bring cross one ship load of African. Now here comes the thief in Queen from England. Now she Cromwell and Henry Maga. Sent it on top a century full of separation. And after 400 years, me send a reparation. I know them want to kill me with the taxation. But I beg you please take me to the motherland. I beg you carry me go home. I bring me from the east. Come on a Rasta man. A Rasta no live on no capital. Coulda never carry me go home. As if we settle and cease. Come on a Rasta man. A Rasta no live on no capital. Watch them pan it up at the hill. And looking at them play how we properly feel. Because downtown have shot off the kill. Them tell the tourists if we stop on the grill. So come make we start a new chapter. We not escape on the land where them capture. And me say Africa fi all to Rasta. I so go tell the and screw plus factor. Say, carry we go home. I bring we round a east way. Come on a Rasta man. A Rasta no live on no capital. Go tell them that. And carry we go home. As if we settle and cease way. Yeah, man a Rasta. Live on a capital. Follow me now. That every garden a capital. And me tell you short to say that a capital. And Los Angeles that a capital. And New York City that a capital. And some of the place where you want to live sweet. A thief in the land, there's no title feet. Some of these places where you want to live nice. I give them thief it in the name of Christ. Spanish town that a capital. And the whole of Kingston that a capital. And remember Portland that a capital. And all gonna Trinidad that a capital. And Barbados that a capital. And tell them Bermuda that a capital. And I tell Colombia say that a capital. And around Cuba say that a capital.
Yeah, Chronics. See there, capture land. Big youth. Streets of Africa.
My brothers and my sisters, now this is a message of love. Oh, yeah. And if only everyone.
And you see that tune there? That tune there was all about land. And you see Mugabe now? Mugabe had to work intellectually and legally with Britain, Lancaster House, in relation to the parameters that them set up to retain Britain, to retain Zimbabwe, the land. And all the promises and all the trickery. And then he was in prison for 11 years. You don't know that? I never heard that. And then him have to learn the law that Britain will deal with so him can reason and argue with them, you know. And then pull so much strokes on him. And not him, but the government that him set up. For his people, for him country. And then them surprise him after independence. And them develop a constitution and say him have to follow that constitution. So you see this thing called independence? You need to understand what the backside when I chat about. Those of you who love jump up and skin out and drink and shake and there's no independence. You idiot. You want to go to school, learn, and use your eyes. And then use your mouth and ask question. Change the constitution. Set up a constitution of them own for the independent Zimbabwe. Yeah, joke, man. We don't learn. You see? And you want reparation. You want repatriation. He thinks it's just talk. That's why the man works so hard. You attack Garvey. Now put nothing into play.
My brothers and my sisters, now this is a message of love. Oh, yeah. And if only everyone could learn to live in love and unity, then things would be better. Not only things would be better, but the world would be better. All right.
Africa. Streets of Africa. Big youth.
Walking down the streets in Africa, looking at the sky in Africa, searching for a place
That was our desire, and it still is.
And there's no need for wars in Africa, Africa. Don't you know that it's true, that for me, and for you, slavery abolished. Don't you know that it's true, that for me and for you, the world is a ghetto. Wondering where I'll find peace and rest, somewhere there's a home, sweet at night. Got to give it up now again. Don't you know that it's true, that for me and for you, slavery abolished. Don't you know that it's true, that for me and for you,
Young Dennis Brown and Big Youth. Streets in Africa. Big Youth and Dennis Brown. Early 70s rhythm. A direction and an inspiration that got us that far.
See the lousy head rise from out of your slumber. Oh, your days may be numbered as I was there. Surely be numbered as I would tell you, you know. What was once hidden in the darkness of the night, surely revealing the light, as the Bible says. What you do in the dark, so surely come to light. No matter what you say, no matter how you try, gotta come fear as I will tell you. And don't you try to play no funny trick. Got to do the good and good will follow you wherever you go, you know. Follow you all over the world as I will say. Matter anywhere you, matter anywhere you wanna go. What you sow and that you shall surely reap. And I know you will reap what you sow. That's all. And then I know you will reap what you sow. If that's anything, so you never know. So you got to reap what you really sow. You know, gotta reap what you sow, as I would say. Good will follow you. Got to live and learn to love each and every one, as I would say.
The little kids, the one that you should love the best. One of these days, they're the ones to lead us, you know. Loving every one of them as I was there. And then the thing you got to give it to them. And you will never regret as I was there. So one of these days, I want all the little kids to know that they should go to school and learn the rule and be no fool. Look before you leap, yeah. And little kids, you gotta look before you leap, as I would say. Want to run deep. But what you don't know, there may be someone who know more than what you don't know. So you can take counsel, as I would say. Each one teach one, as I would tell you. Each one, I would say. Reap what you sow. I saw. Reap what you sow. So you sow what you sow. But if you sow, nobody reap back. If you sow the good, don't sow your reap the good, and I would tell you. Good. So you reap the good, and you can experience.
The work of the Lord is perfect, and the coming of his judgment is soon. Make haste while you may. Tomorrow is another day.
Child the children following Babylon day by day.
Why would you even fight against him, brother? In Babylon, you know, Jaja children. So you got to love them well. In Babylon, you know, Jaja children. So you got to love them well. And watch it only time will tell. In Babylon, you know, Jaja children. And watch you got to love them well. Send take a vote against him mother. Move ya! Don't come to fight against him brother. Why would take a vote against his mother? Just to go and fight out him brother. It's a trial and tribulation and pure persecution. Trial and tribulation and pure persecution. That land knows that our children. Why they say you love them well?
What you gonna do when the Father stretch forth his hands to lead us forward to the promised land?
Then we'll be going to a land of happiness and joy, a land of peace, total togetherness, and may we walking together. Don't make them we love one another, to love the other children. And so I say to love them well. So make only time will tell.
Bomber drop, damn you!
God the Lord God keep them blessed. To them not the Lord God keep them love. Singing on the Lord God keep them glory. Pass it on the Lord God keep them love. Growing on a river. Growing on a river. Mary got a job in the city. She was working on the fire.
So you want labor?
Go ahead, wait. Hey you over there.
God, the Lord God keep them blessed. To them not the Lord God keep them love. Singing on the Lord God keep them glory.
and the Lord God keep them growing on a river, growing on a river. Mary got a job in the city. She was working on the fire every day and night. So she worked so hard just to make things right. So the big wheels keep on turning.
Yeah, tired.
Oh, I saw you on labor.
Go ahead, wait. Hey, you. Hey, you over there. You. Hey, you, sir.
Last one. Guidance.
When the black man's word was spoken, yeah, and the white men thought it was a token, oh yeah. We have suffered our whole life through, doing things that we're not supposed to do, yeah. We will beat till our back was black and blue. I was born a loser. I was born a loser because I'm a black man. I was living in my own land. I was moved because of white man's plan. I am living in a different land. Hey.
See me get two alternatives and it's all about Africa. Saying you think say I don't know what this think anyway, cause sometimes see that black people them funny.
Read him up. Non-stopping, hot rocking.
Energy. Yeah, you know, selector. More music and less talk.
Guidance. Yo, share the link. Spread the news. Tomorrow evening, Things and Times? No. Cultural Expression. Same folks, different stroke. Cultural Expression, tomorrow evening, 6 o'clock. Share the link, spread the news. Can't lose.
We will beat till our back was black and blue.
You remember, after we think. Sir Altonellis.
I am living in a different land.
Listen. The music me grew up with, I dance up a blues well. Wood Green.
Our thoughts, oh no, no. All we need is faith and some trust. Ooh. We were beaten all our life through, doing things that we're not supposed to do, yeah. We were beaten till our back was black and blue. And I was born a loser. because of all those white man's plan, I am living in a white man's land. Look here now, baby. Woo!
You see, sometimes you listen to a young woman or another brother, and might tell you, say, listen, man, I don't want to hear them type of record, you know, and everything, right? And you see this man here make the most affectionate music and write the most affectionate songs, you see? But we are the children of the slaves. And our journey was brutality and torture. You see? So that's inside of us. Because we're probably 3 generations, could be 4. You understand? From with great-grandparents to grandparents and with parents. So all of that is inside of our blood. All the unfair treatment, the harshness, you see? And we still have to find time to make ourselves feel good. So you have man them like him would write love ballad. That's just to keep the emotions intact. But then the history have to be there. So 1,001 singers them, you know, chant them something there. And keeping us to do good and to love and to seek God, Jah. You understand? And to honor with parents. Yeah. Some serious things. So nobody can come now and try change that and tell us, say, watch out, we're dealing with too much protest, this and that, you know. We're not Americans. And we them may say that we're not the hip-hop guy them that come and get swayed by some guy that have some long hair and call himself, he's an Askanaki and them got a whole heap of money. That shit now work. It has worked already. We're going to try change it back to reality. I tell you, we're going to try change it back. Them undress with women, seduce them. Now they're porn artists. And look what they targeted. Women. Other people out there not understanding. Them targeted the women and get a few bucks them for follow. And then send some guy them cross here and change with sound system. Yeah? But clash, world clash and rare, and all this profanity. And it could all be 5 hours to write it. And you don't get no more than 6 records out of all of them. Because them tip something and cost the rest. And what them cost? Them cost your mama. And these black man them, you know, guys them, I support them one another in the same talk. That one says something your mama, the other one says something your mother, and it continues. Eh? All of these things have happened. And the man them over here behave like they don't have no sense already. See, the seduction of money and no self-consciousness. And some of them say them a Rasta. A lie. What me just say? A lie. You just ratty that use the thing as a camouflage. Yeah, joke, man. Anyway, you wonder about Altoness. You hear Altoness sing sweet. Hey, the music, they're sweet, you know. You see? Music, you know. Watch this one. Me love this one here more than anything. Me I go here still, you know. Official Data. Love the tune. Susan.
My little daughter. She's a good, good daughter. Oh, my little daughter.
That's the same artist that sing the tune earlier on for Africa. You understand? So don't misrepresent we and try think say, you know what I mean, we just like what them call crab in a barrel. No. You understand? So it's a universal application for African people. You see? Guidance gone. Tomorrow, God willing, different stroke. Music said we. Yeah, tomorrow's the music thing, you know. I can't understand why me just draw music into these things. Yeah, we're gone anyway. Guidance. Tomorrow, 6 o'clock. Spread my link. Tell people and tune in. You see? Yo, and you see this YouTube thing? You have some comments down there. If you don't like when I play this time, you don't like when I play, you don't like the conversation, just say it. Don't put no FB on it. You understand? No CB or nothing like that. Just write the thing if you can write properly or something. You know what I mean? You use a computer or play this tune for me. You see what I mean? Guidance.